Okay, what's up, guys? We are here. It's me, it's Alex. I know I started these videos 2 years ago. I don't care. It's just been a lot. Or I should say I do care enough to make 10 videos in one evening. Because a long time ago I had an idea to make videos about how to open up a game store. And I started doing them and they didn't get a lot of traction and I kind of lost steam. And then life came up. I had another kid. I used to have old rotten teeth. Some of you knew that. I got them fixed. I had to take time off to recover from that. And then I just kind of let it go and lost passion. But over the years, you guys have come back and been knocking on the comment section saying, "Hey, douche, finish the videos." I've been meaning to for a long time. I really have. And finally, I've hit a phase in my life where I'm like, I'm just going to get stuff done. And so I'm going to be doing 10 live videos, probably all of them tonight, just to get the information out there for those of you who are begging for the information. Then I will go do polished videos and answer your questions in those videos. But for those of you who are just looking for the inspiration, I'm going to do these videos now so that you can watch them, so that you can replay them, so that you can get the information that you've been waiting 2 years for. Jeez, I'm so sorry. Episode one. If you guys have already watched my previous episodes, the first couple of them are going to be rehashes, but with a little bit more new information. Like I said, it's been a couple of years. I don't remember everything in the other videos. I'd have to rewatch them, which I will. But right now, this is just about getting it done, not perfect. So, why open a game store? What is the motivation? I got to tell you, my motivation for opening up a game store is community. Um, I love people. I don't really care about games. Now, I know I've got a black dragon on my wall, Deadpool sitting there. I own pretty much every D&D 5.0 game like book out there. I've got over 250 board games. I ran a physical game store 100 hours a week, but I didn't do it for the love of the game. I mean, shoot, we carry so much Magic the Gathering, and I genuinely am not the biggest fan of Magic the Gathering. And yet I sort thousands of cards and put them out there and host tournaments, and it's for the community. That's literally it. If you're getting into this business for making the money off of it, sure, there's ways of doing really, really well at it, especially with the internet and everything like that. I did well over a couple of years. We were doing over $500,000 in sales. It's lucrative, it's fantastic, it's excellent. But unless you're doing it for the community, you're going to hate what you do. And then you're going to hate the customers that walk through your door. So the thing is about opening up a game store is realizing you're going to be focused on hanging out with people. If you love Magic, if you love D&D, but you're not a big fan of fostering community, being a part of people's lives, hearing their stories, being their shoulder to cry on, you are going to essentially be a bartender of dice. And if you're not ready to be that, then you're just going to end up owning a cold husk of a store that people buy stuff from, but you just get sick of it because there are way more interesting things to do for money in this world. And just going about it through a D&D store isn't the best idea. You got to be in it because you love spending time with people. The community you imagine creating and why it matters. You want to create your game store to begin with, thinking of who you don't want to be there. I've said this in my other videos, but when you're starting a business, the initial thought that goes into your head is, man, I really want to make sure that I get everybody in there buying as much as possible. You should avoid that like the plague. You do not want everybody coming into your store. I'm not talking about being a closed-minded bigot, okay? What I'm saying is that honestly, when you open up a business, some of the most successful ones in the world know who they want coming through their door and who they don't. Carhartt is an excellent example. Blue collar, working, canvas, all of these things. They build their stores, Denards and other stuff, because they want people that farm and ranch and work in oil rigs to come to their store and to buy their stuff. They are not trying to appeal to musicians. They are not trying to appeal to worship pastors. They are not trying to appeal to trendy high school girls. Now, all of these people buy Carhartt, but the reason they buy Carhartt is because they want to give off the edge that they work hard, they are for the blue collar working community, and that they are not just plastic. That's why people wear Carhartt, is because they want to seem rugged without actually doing any of the rugged work. But Carhartt ignores this crowd. Even though every church you go to through 2015 to 2025 was worship pastors decked out in Carhartt beanies and Carhartt jackets, Carhartt never shifted their focus to church leaders and staff and musicians. They just focused on oil rig workers and ranchers, and they kept their focus. This is the same way with you. When you're opening up a store, you don't need to cater to everybody. I owned a store that was really community based, and I wanted people coming in there who wanted to make friends. If you want to come into my game store because you want to chuck concrete, you've got that meta deck that's going to roll steel over every single person that you compete against, and you're in there not to make friends, but to win tournaments, you're going to hate my store. You're going to absolutely hate it, because my space is a chill out, come cozy, hang out on a couch, learn to play games. There's a ton of people there that are just learning for the first time, or so casual that if you're looking for one of those high level, cut steel, solid, rules lawyer invested environment, you're not going to find it. We run great tournaments and we have a space for people who like to play on that level, but they have their own little isolated table where they are told, hey, you can do this at this table with your people, but you're not allowed to take your deck against the newbies unless they're looking for a fight. Because those who want to get into Magic and they want to know what it's like to go up against a competitive deck, sure, there's no rules against that. If you want to get your butt kicked, you can go looking for a fight, but you can't just roll over people and dominate the environment so that everybody gets broken and gets sick of even playing tournaments. One of the ways that I did this is on Friday nights, I actually ran two tournaments. I ran a tournament for people who are cutthroat and people who were way more relaxed. And that way, if you came in, you were like, man, I'm not as good as these other players, I suck. Well, you didn't get into the cutthroat tournament. You got into the relaxed tournament. The prizes were chill. The cost was a little bit lower. You had fun. And then the people that got on the cutthroat material, we raised the prices, raised the prize pool, did leaderboards. It was fantastic. But we knew what we were doing. We were fostering community. We were catering to make space for people to feel like they could belong with their group, but we weren't trying to win people over. Um, the real joys of running a game store, I would say the best feeling in the world that I had running a game store was those nights when the store was packed out. People were having a blast. We were open till midnight. We were hanging out, and I would step outside of my store, left somebody else to run it. I would go outside for a break. I'd walk out into the parking lot by myself in secret, and I would just look in to the windows of the store from a distance, and I would just watch the activity going on in the game space. People laughing, people buying hot pockets and sodas, people just kind of sorting their cards, playing a game of D&D, laughing, smoking, whatever, and knowing I created that space, a space where people met, made friends, got engaged, got socially acclimated. People who had PTSD from the military were able to function and get more accommodated and relaxed and associated with society again. I mean, there's just a lot of things that I brought to the table. But again, I was able to watch the community, I was able to realize I built that for people. I was the space that people looked forward to coming to each week. And I was the space that people would remember fondly 10 or 20 years down the road when they had moved on, moved, started their life. They'd remember that Cheers or that Friends coffee shop, the Central Perk. I created that space. I don't remember the money. I don't remember the product. I just remember the experience of how people felt like they belonged. That's why Dice and Dragons' motto is stay, play, belong. The last thing I'll say is the challenge that you're going to face in this is just running the store, cleaning the toilets, taking inventory, counting your till at the end of the night when you're exhausted, but you have to keep your books and you have to keep accounting. You have to put your big boy pants on. Some people come in to run a game store so that they can do their hobby at wholesale prices, and they don't run their business legitimately. They never expand. They just let it fall into disrepair, and eventually they close their doors broke because they don't innovate. They're literally basically like a customer who runs the register, but doesn't actually take care of the shop. And you can tell when you go into these spaces because the shop isn't clean, it isn't organized. The bathroom is disgusting. When I'm a game store owner, I am passionate about scrubbing the toilets. I am passionate about vacuuming the floors. I am passionate about making sure everything is faced on the shelves because, again, it's fostering community and experience. If my bathroom is gross, people aren't going to come there. Chicks aren't going to come there. And it's going to suck. If my inventory is out of place, you're not going to feel like it's clean and fresh. If I don't vacuum, if I keep my hands away from deigning to do all of the stuff I would have to do if I ran a retail store like I worked at Walmart, well, then it's not the work for you because you're going to do everything in the store so that you can be a good leader. So that eventually, if you get a little bit extra money, you can hire somebody to clean the bathrooms or you can hire somebody to do the shelves or vacuum the floors. You know how to do them. You know what you're looking for when you hire and when you train, and you can be there to actually do the job when they call in sick and you have to jump in and take the reins. That is section one. Why open a game store? The magic, the motivation, the dream. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to move on to video two, and I will see you guys there in just a minute. Happy gaming.